Hi, this is kind of awkward, so bear with me. My name is Madiha. I'm a fourth year bio major. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm an mentor here for anyone who didn't know. I wanted to kind of talk to you all about housing and working for housing and what that looks like as a part of, a place for involvements. So throughout my 4 years, I've worked 4 different positions throughout housing, and so I wanted to give you all some insight of things that I've seen, things that maybe you're interested in if you're interested in getting a place in housing. So in my 4 years here, like I said, I've held 4 different positions. I've been a part of the executive board of Mesa Council as the marketing and communications chair. I have been a part of the Resident Housing Association as a programs advisor. I have been an RA, a resident advisor in Campus Village, as well as Mesa Court. I will briefly go over the first 2, and then I'll go a little bit more into depth in the whole RA process, because I know that's a lot of times what people are focused on. So for Mesa Court Council, I'll go through it kind of quickly because it's something I had my first year, and it's a position that I applied to the summer before I got here. So they sent out an email, I applied not really thinking much of it, not thinking that I would get it, and then I started working for housing. So I think that that's a really good way to get started, and for those of you who maybe missed out on that opportunity or maybe it didn't go in your favor, that's completely okay. Mesa Court Council is larger than just its 4 to 5 executive members. They hold weekly general council meetings in the community. This is also true for Middle Earth. What Mesa Court Council does do is, the way I explain it is, it's kind of like ASB meets government and you put them together. So they put together programs in the evening, some large scale ones that maybe you've seen. They do the carnival in front of the towers, and my year we did an Olympics for a lot of the halls. They also do things like government. They decide on things. They, I don't know, my year we're still building the towers, and my council and us, we used to be able to decide, we got to decide on what furniture was going to be in there, what the carpet was going to be in there. The artworks that you see at the back of each floor, those are things that the council voted on and decided on. So it's a really cool way to kind of leave your mark in Mesa, if that's something that you want to do. Some of the pros of working for Mesa Court Council. So being on the executive board means you're able to get paid. It is a paid position. You work in a small team and you get the opportunity to expand on things that you know how to do. If you've never made a flyer before, you have the opportunity to do that. You get the opportunity to learn how to do financial paperwork and how to buy things with like a company card and like figure out how that works. They have really flexible hours. You're able to work with your small team and figure out when those hours and when those things are. I feel like it's one of those kind of lower commitment positions. You don't have to spend literally forever at work, and it's a really good place to start off work. I think housing is also a very student-friendly position. All of them. I've had pretty good experiences with the fact that they understand that we are students first, and a lot of times we have midterms and we're not going to be 100% there, or that we're just people and sometimes you gotta leave, like things happen. So they've been pretty understanding. For my second year in housing, I began a position with the Residents Housing Association. They are a organization under housing that oversees all 4 UCI-owned communities. That is Arroyo Vista, Campus Village, Mesa Court, and Middle Earth. They program and advocate for all 4 of these communities. So this is even more like that ASB meets government smushed together, except they are technically within kind of 2 entities. There's the advocacy portion, which is the government portion. They hold meetings, they do academic, like award type things. They do these things called of the months, where you can nominate folks to be like a star that month, kind of a thing. And then you have the programming portion, which is the side that I worked on, where they put on these programs varying through communities for all 4 communities. So things that we did, we made nitrogen Dippin' Dot ice creams with professors. We've held off-campus events, so we've taken folks to the Aquarium of the Pacific and things to that nature. For programs advisor, pretty much what I was there for was to be someone to advise a team of 5 or 6 programmers who were actually the ones putting on the program. I myself more so worked with the professional staff side of it, as well as managing and making sure things were being done through the programmers. This position, something that was really hard for me to deal with was you're not as connected to the students that you're helping. I literally never saw any of the students who attended the programs or anything like that unless I physically was going. I instead was working a lot with folks in the HAS office, with my supervisor directly and with my small team. Whereas with Mesa Court Council, as I mentioned above, you lived in the community, you worked with the folks you lived with, and you were able to see them at every program because you held every single program. So that's a very different thing. If you like that administrative style, if you like making sure folks are bringing things into you, then that's something that's really good for you in a way, or a type of place that you could excel in. So that was also another paid position. It was a position that you got to work with pro staff. So in that you got to understand business professional settings, you got to work in that 9 to 5 chunk if you're not someone who likes all that intense flexibility. You still work in a team, so if team setting is something that you really enjoy, there's that. But you're also kind of managing, so if you're really good at management, it's a good position for you. Not my thing at all. I don't like it. I think the programs advisor position was more you do what fits within your world. For some folks that can be incredibly exciting and exactly what they want to do rather than branching out and trying a little bit of everything. RHA also really helps with the ability to plan large-scale programs. A lot of what I learned through that position I was able to apply to my brother's wedding. We were planning that over the summer, so super helpful. In my 3rd year, I was a resident advisor for Campus Village. Campus Village, for anyone who doesn't know, is a apartment-style living. So there are buildings in which there are 8 apartments to each building, and here Campus Village is a continuing student housing, so it's for 2nd years and up, and there's also even grad students in those communities. As an RA in CV, you do work independently as well as within the team of 10 RAs that you have. So this position has some flexibility, but also you're still working in a team. So there's a way to figure how you all work together, so there's still that team aspect if that's something that you enjoy. For CV, in terms of compensation, the way that resident advisor positions typically work is you are paid with housing and a meal plan. So you don't get a physical check, but you do have housing and your meals paid for. Because Campus Village does not have their own dining commons, they actually don't provide a meal plan. Instead, they give you what they call a stipend that can act as the money that goes to your food. So you would buy your own groceries or buy fast food, whatever that looks like for you. So you do get like a physical check. So the Campus Village RA position, some of the really great things about it, it's a small community, so you get to know faces, you get to know people that are beyond your own residence. You also get kind of close with the team that you're working with, because there are only 10 RAs on the team. You program both for your individual residents as well as the entire community. You live in an apartment rather than a dorm or the dorm style, I guess, that Aura Vista has. You get your own room. You do get a stipend since you don't have a meal plan in Campus Village, as well as your room is paid for. So pretty flexible. I think a bit more flexible than any of the other positions that I've mentioned thus far. You kind of decide your own hours. Campus Village is also incredibly close to campus. I could get to campus in a 5-minute walk. I could get to most of my classes in under 10, which is what I love to do. RAing in Mesa, some of the benefits: you get your room and you get a meal plan paid for. There's an extra sense of your residents wanting to be around you, wanting to learn from you, wanting to talk to you. That is something I really missed. For a lot of folks, they really enjoy working in the community that they lived in their first year or anything like that. You also get to learn a lot. You're surrounded by such diverse folks. The team is really large, and so there's a lot of people to meet, a lot of cool things to learn. With either of the RA positions, you also have the benefit of being trained in a lot of things. You get a day or so of diversity training, you get to learn about first aid, you get to understand how to respond to emergencies well. So the application process. So the application process for an RA position begins in December, early January. So the application should be coming out really soon. You are given the short answer questions that you answer in essay style that are submitted along with your resume and some of your preference choices, I believe, into the team of the communities. You're able to apply for as many or as few communities as you'd like. So these communities, like I'd mentioned before, Aura Vista, Campus Village, Middle Earth, and Mesa Court. I myself never applied for more than 2, but you can apply for all 4 if you'd like. After reviewing your applications, interview invites go out from the communities that you've applied to that find interest in you. So if you only applied to one community, then you will probably only get that one interview if they like you. If you've applied to all 4, you might get 4 interviews, you might get 3 interviews, you might get 1 interview. It really depends on what the community is looking for. After you've had your interviews in the different communities, then the communities go in and they have like these debriefing sessions or something along those lines, where they go through all the applications and they try to figure out who fits the community and who they think could do a good job. At the end of the day, you'll only get 1 position invite saying that you were accepted into a position. So only 1 community at the end of the day will send you a, hey, we want you on our team, which can be a positive or negative for some folks. Some folks really, really want one community. For those of you that feel that way, I would suggest only applying for that community. So the hey, we want you comes out sometime, I believe, in like March. From that point on, you do have time to say yes or no. And once you've agreed, then there is the process in deciding where you go. For Mesa Court and Middle Earth, there are themed housing. Mesa Court in specific has things like the Biosci Hall or the STEM Hall. They have MC Globe. They've got the tower. So they try to prepare you where they think that you'll do best and where you can be as helpful to residents as possible. Then you'll have an onboarding session where you fill out paperwork. You'll have a day where you are passed down to, where they show you what hall you're going to be in. You'll have time to meet other staff members, and then about a month before school starts, we begin training. So that's something that you would have to keep in mind, that you would have to be here for, and that you can't take classes during that second session of UCI, like summer session, because it does conflict with the time that you are in training. Unfortunately, that training is unpaid, so that's something to take into consideration for folks who want to apply and want to be a part of this position. For positions that do get paid, like center attendance and the positions that I was in the first 2 years, you could get paid for those 40 hours a week that you work, so that is also a plus that I forgot to mention earlier. So joining housing for me wasn't something that I was joining. I applied this summer before my first year because I wanted and needed a job. And I didn't know anything about Irvine. I had been here once or twice to see the campus, and I saw an email about it from Mesa Court, who sent it out, I guess, to all of their first year residents, and I applied not really knowing what I was getting myself into, just knowing that I wanted to do something with art or media because I didn't want to just do science. And I realized how much I loved it. I met some of my best friends through my first year, through my second year and third year. I met some amazing folks. And I think that's kind of what kept me coming back. There's so much flexibility in the position, so much understanding. A lot of the pro staff were very aware and very, about social justice. I know some of the staff were even let out of meeting or out of training to go strike for DACA when it was repealed. So that is a really big part of why housing means so much to me. And a lot of it is just the people that are in it. It's the connection to the residents, it's the connection to the teams. That's just so freaking great. To anyone wanting to get involved with housing, my biggest thing is just apply and be doing it for the right reasons. The folk that interview you can tell that you're doing it just for the free housing. They can tell that that's the reason that you're there, and a lot of times they won't choose someone who's there only for that. Because a lot of the time they're the folk that come in not wanting to be there for their residents. And what's the point of giving someone an RA or giving someone a council member who's not there to be there to help, who's there because they wanted the benefits of it? And yeah, so I think if you really want to get into becoming an RA, talk to folks, understand what it's like, understand the challenges that come with it.